need a 12 skincare, a 5, a 7, a 10-step skincare routine. Like, they look like they're abandoned, is what I'm trying to say. So if you like them, just know you were the only one. Muji does not care. Be your best, be your best. You can do it, be your best. Bio means beauty in Japanese. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hello. And if you're coming back, thank you. So today I'm gonna do a breakdown of all the MUJI skincare products. But before that, let me introduce myself. So my name is Laura. I've been living in Japan for 11 years. Last year, I passed the Japanese cosmetic licensing test. Basically what that means is that I studied this in Japanese. I'm not a medical professional, but I wanna use that information to help you be your best. So before we get into today's video, as always, just wanna mention real quick, I have a YesStyle code, BeYourBest9. You can find the links and the details in the product down below, but actually, YesStyle does not have any MUJI products. I think MUJI products, you can only get them from MUJI stores that ship to wherever it is that you live. I'm gonna link that downstairs. But if you want to buy any other brands or anything else from YesStyle, feel free to use my code if you don't have any other creators code that you would like to use. So with that, let's get right into the video. Today, we're gonna talk about MUJI, and let's just briefly talk about like the brand, like what's it about. I feel like people who know MUJI would call it MUJI because it's a shortened form of Mujirushi Ryouhin. So I think it's interesting because the Japanese characters for it is no brand, good product. So I think the concept behind it was just like, it's not prestigious or like pompous, like we're coming here with this brand name. It's like we're just here, we just have good products. But then it ended up becoming its own brand name. And they sell all kinds of things. They don't just sell skincare products, they sell clothes for men, for women, for children. They also sell house things like interior products, things to help you store your apartment. And they even have food. And this is just a fun fact, but the largest MUJI, I believe, opened up this year. And it's somewhere down in Kansai. I think it was like in Nara, potentially close to like Kyoto. And as you can see on this map here, it is huge, humongous. This is all MUJI. This is not a mall. And these are like the little sections of the MUJI. And inside it has a cafe. There's also a bookstore. And there's this thing called MUJI, which is about like recycling. They do say that they promote recycling. And one of the things here in the middle was this thing called Open MUJI, and it just looks like a kid's playground. But today we only gonna talk about skincare. They're one of those brands that they promote really like natural, a little bit kind of a clean image. And so they have like 5 basic principles that they follow. So the first one is that all of the ingredients are 100% naturally derived. And look, I'm just gonna say with that right quick, like mineral oil, people will be like, oh my gosh, mineral oil like this and that, but mineral oil like comes from petroleum, which naturally you can get that from the earth, so that's 100% naturally derived. So I'm just saying that a lot of companies, they'll toot and boot that, but I don't think it's like this thing that some companies will make it out to be. Just keep that in mind. The second thing is that they put ingredients in the products that are missing in our skin. And the one that they point out here is ceramides, which, yes, ceramides, you know, if they're missing from your skin, they could help increase dryness and irritation. So those are very good ingredients to put in your skincare. Third thing that they promote, or that they mention that they put their efforts into, is being gentle formulas. So again, this comes along with like that clean image. They say that they don't use mineral oils, colorings, artificial fragrances, paraben-free, phenoxy ethanol, which is a type of preservative that people are like, oh, you know, they tend to be wary of if you're kind of into the clean image. So they're like, oh no, we don't use that. And all of the products, I believe, don't have those kind of products. They also say that they formulate their products so that the pH is the same as our tears. So that would be easy on the skin. And last, like I mentioned earlier with the MUJI, is that they put their efforts into using recycled products and creating recycled products. So here are the different types of skincare series that they have. So first up is the sensitive skincare series, and this is, like it says, it's very basic. It's for if you have sensitive skin, you just need something to slap on your face. Here you go. Next is the aging care series, and so then this one, it says that it helps with skin elasticity and dryness. Next we have the Wrinkle Bright series, and this one is for people who are, you know, kind of worried about their wrinkles and also about the freckles and just hyperpigmentation. Brightening series is mainly focused on freckles and hyperpigmentation, also brightening through getting rid of like dead skin cells. And then you have the Acne Care series, which helps with acne. You also have 3 special care, not necessarily lines, but like 3 special care items. One of them is not on here, but I'll introduce that later. We have the Fermented Booster Serum as well as the Fermented Toner. And then we have the high percentage all-in-one serums. So I made this chart here so you can see they have, so across all the series, there are certain things that all of the Muji products will have. And as you can see on this chart, amino acids and ceramide, and I wrote ceramide because generally speaking, it's only one ceramide. Some of them will have this thing called phytosphingosine, some kind of sphingosine or phytosphingosine. And so then that's like a ceramide cousin, but that is not like across all lines. But the ceramide that they do have across all lines, I believe, is ceramide NP, which is a hitogata ceramido, or it's a person-shaped ceramide. And it's pretty much the same shape as the one that we already have in our faces. But yeah, so all of the lines, basically any and all Muji lines will have 5 amino acids and will have at least one ceramide. And then the rest, depending on what it is that they're focused on, will have different ingredients. So for example, the sensitive skin only has a 3 plant extract. The aging one has rice bran extract, and it also has an 11 plant extract, as well as retinol derivative, which we all know is good for aging and helping increase turnover. So yeah, you can compare and to see. If you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of this picture so you can use it as a reference for when you're shopping to see which one it is that you would like to purchase, please go ahead. Now would be the time. I'm gonna make it go away. And then I also did a similar thing for the wipe off toner, the fermented serum, as well as the fermented toner. And I put a little asterisk on the fermented toner with the rice bran extract, because while they both have rice bran extract, in the booster serum, the rice bran extract is the first ingredient, and there actually, I believe, was no water in this formula. But for the toner, the first ingredient is water, and the second ingredient is the rice bran extract. So if you want more of that rice bran extract, which has, you know, like fermented products, they have amino acids and they help just moisturize our skin more in general, I would go with the booster serum, but the toner is going to be a little bit more affordable. And then we have the series that I did not put up in the other slide, and this is the serums. They have 4 different types of serums, and these are high percentage serums. And we have just ceramides, which help you with moisture, vitamin C derivative, which help you with brightening, niacinamide 10%, which help you with brightening, and then a retinol derivative, which helps you with well aging. And across all the lines, what they all have is, again, those 5 amino acids, dipotassium glycerizinite, which is an anti-inflammatory ingredient, as well as, again, that one ceramide, ceramide NP, and then 3 plant extracts. Next, going to the high percentage all-in-one, the niacinamide 10% one is focused on brightening, while the retinol derivative is more on well aging and just kind of overall well-round, because it'll also help with brightening and hyperpigmentation with the increased cell turnover, as well as the other things that retinol does. Okay, so now we're getting into the bread and butter. So the sensitive skin series, as you can see here, they really focus on being free of pretty much all of these kinds of things across the whole series. This series, what they have is the 1 ceramide, and 5 amino acids and 3 plant extracts. So I would definitely recommend, even if you don't have sensitive skin, if you just you're just trying to get basic moisture, I would say that this would probably be a line that you might be interested in. And so for the toners, we have 4 different types of toners. And so the first 3 toners here, what I think is really interesting is on the Muji site, as you can see towards the bottom, if you see like this kind of chart thing going sideways, the first part is the hada najimi, or its absorbency into the skin, and then the bottom is the hoshitsuryoku, or the moisturization power that it has. Generally speaking, as the moisturization power of a product goes up, the absorbency into the skin goes down. That's generally because you'll have more occlusive ingredients, and they don't really go so much into the skin. They just kind of like a little bit stay on top and help the ingredients that are in to not escape. So I just thought that was a really interesting thing. And again, they have these in 3 different quote-unquote flavors. And then the one all the way on the left, so the one that has the highest moisturization would be the Kou Hoshitsu, or the deep moisture. The one that has the lowest moisturization but the highest skin absorbency will be the lightest formulation. That is the toning water light. If you have more sensitive skin, and maybe not necessarily acne prone skin, but you tend to get more oily, so you don't want to put a lot of occlusive ingredients, you would definitely want to go for the lighter formulation. And then this product I think is really interesting is in English it's called the creamy toning water. And the reason why I think it's really interesting, because it looks like it's going to be more of a milky formula, but realistically it just looks like a watered down emulsion. The thing is that, for example, in K-Beauty, like I think it's the Dr. Cereal, the kombucha one that has like that layer of kind of the fermented kombucha liquid, and then it also has that milky thing, and then you shake it up and you put that on your face, or even like the Laneige cream skin milk. Those milky kind of toner formulas I see more in K-beauty. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's really, really interesting. I've never really seen this in JBeauty, so I was very intrigued. So this is a product that I would definitely really want to try. And as you can see, the sensitive skincare line, it doesn't have a lot of fuss and fuss and a bunch of different ingredients or actives and stuff. Therefore, it's a pretty affordable line. Okay, so next up after the toners, they have the emulsions. And again, just like the toners, we have different flavors. So the one that has the highest moisturizing power is going to be the most occlusive one, but it's also going to be just a little bit less, you feel like it absorbing into your skin. Obviously, we're all skin individuals. It might absorb into your skin might just drink it up, just like we don't know. You would have to try. Also, if it does that, I don't know, maybe you'll freak out, but just call on Jesus. But yeah, like the formulas for very basic, very simple. It's just to moisturize your skin, and 200 milliliters for 990 yen. That's not bad. So next we have the cream, and if you could look down here, the same as I mentioned before. So the skin absorbency is a little bit lower, but the moisturization is quite high for this product. And then for the all-in-one category, they have two products, but realistically they just have one product. It's just that one of them is the full-size product, the 1,490 yen, and then the other one is just a little trial size product. And that's something that's super nice about MUJI, is the fact that they have, I think, products for almost all of their skincare products. So you can legitimately just try out most of the products, I believe most if not all, before you decide to invest in the full size product. And that is honestly, I wish that more brands would do that. Another brand that I see that does that a lot is Curel, which I've talked about in these 3 videos here, my Curel series. But other than that, you see some brands do it here and there, especially more high-end brands, but I really wish that more brands would do this, because it genuinely would save you a lot of money and a lot of heartache potentially in the long run. Because again, at the end of the day, what works for me might not work for thee. So I could recommend things until kingdom come, and that might not work for you. So just saying, MUJI, good job with that. So next up is the Aging Care series. Again, just like the other series, it's free of all these different elements. These are the features of this product. And this one is a little bit more robust than the sensitive skincare series, because along with the ceramides as well as the 5 amino acids, we got a retinol derivative, we've got a vitamin C derivative, and we also have rice bran extract as well as 11 plant extracts. So this series doesn't have as much variation in toners. Like the sensitive skincare series, it gave you 4 different levels of toners. The aging care series only has 1 level or flavor of toner, and then for the emulsion you also have only 1 level or flavor. It says that they're very moisturizing. Next, I thought this was really interesting because as you can see here, they put the serum along with this series, but this is kind of, I believe it's like its own series on its own. But I've seen it on the page. They put it in a bunch of the different series. They just kind of chuck it in there like, hey, think about this special care thing. But actually the only product from the aging care series in this one is this oil here. And as shown on the chart all the way at the bottom, it is very highly moisturizing, and it says that its absorbency is quite high. So this is another product that I would actually really be interested in trying. Next up, we have the cream and then the sleeping mask. And it seems like realistically the difference between these two is just the texture. So I have not bought either product, so I would not be able to tell you based on my experience, but just based on the pictures, the cream, it looks a little bit more smooth. It looks like it'll just definitely go on more smoothly. But then the sleeping mask, as you can see, like the picture of the spread, it definitely looks like it is going to be a little bit more thick, a little bit more occlusive. So if you're interested in this line and you are going back and forth between the cream and the sleeping mask, I would say the sleeping mask if you have drier skin and maybe not acne prone skin. The cream, maybe try it if you want something a little bit potentially lighter. But they do have an acne line specifically, and they also have another line that has this other cream that I think maybe might work better for people with acne prone skin. They also have the all-in-one cream, and all of the series all have all-in-one creams, and that's amazing because realistically at the end of the day, do you need a 7 to 10 step skincare routine? You don't. Literally, it's just wash your face, moisturize, and if it's in the morning, sunscreen. But obviously, like, different products have different features, and then there's different ingredients you might want to use for different things. You can't have just one product that will have all of it. What's gonna have, yes, you can have vitamin C and retinol in the same product. Let's say that you use vitamin C and your face tends to react to it, or you feel very sensitized by it, then you would want a different product that's, a different brightening product. You can use, for example, alpha arbutin or tranexamic acid, or even azelaic acid. So these are all potential options, and you wouldn't be able to, you just can't have one product that does it all. So that would be, I think, the biggest difference. If you just want to do, like, quote unquote, I guess, the bare minimum, and you just want to take care of your skin and keep it healthy, you can go ahead, put on an all-in-one and go to bed. Like, the time that you'll be saving on your skincare routine and putting that towards sleep will probably in the long run be better than taking all of these steps. So again, it depends on your lifestyle, depends on your budget, and depends on your skincare goals. And then next for the aging series, they have this, the décolleté, which the décolleté, I don't know if y'all know. I know from in Japanese, décolleté. So I'm like, oh, okay, we have this thing here. I don't know if this is even an English word. If you know, please let me know down in the comment section. I'm sorry. But yeah, so décolleté, they have the décolleté milk. And then that is specifically for this area here. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry. This is a cash grab, okay? Because you can just use, realistically, you can just use the other products that you have and just bring it down. You can do that. You can even use a body cream that you have. When you finish showering, you're all wet. Before you use your towel, you can go ahead and put your body cream down. Again, depending on the ingredients, it might not have the retinol derivative and vitamin C derivative that I believe should be in this series. But look, basic moisturization, that's all you need, just down to the nips. I'm just saying it's a little spency for a very specific area. It's not limited to that area. You could probably use this as a face product potentially, but generally speaking, face products tend to be formulated so that they're a little bit more elegant on the face. So do whatever it is that you want. Maybe pray about it. Be like, Jesus, please help me with this decision. I don't know. I'm just saying it's a little expensive. That's all I'm saying. Next, we have the lip care, which is interesting because I think this is the only line that has lip care. I don't think that it has SPF though, so if you really want to take care of your lips, if you have a product that has retinol to help, you know, plump up your lips over time, that'd be great. But also don't forget PF on your lips to keep the collagen that you worked with the retinol to get produced to not get broken down by the sun. And they have a hand cream. Okay, so next is the aging care series. Wait, wasn't the last one the aging care series? No. So next is the Medicated Wrinkle Bright series. And again, same as the other ones, it's free of these things. For the Medicated Wrinkle Bright series, we have ceramide NP, 5 amino acids, and then we have niacinamide, our boy who's basically in everything nowadays. But he's in everything because he can do a lot. He's a jack of all trades, master of none kind of situation, but he does do a lot of work. We also got rice bran extract, and we have 11 plant extracts. And this product, the reason why it's called medicated or yakuyo is because it's a quasi drug. So what does this mean? This means that there's an active ingredient in this product. What does that mean? That means that the active ingredient in this product is niacinamide. And essentially, in order to have a product be called an iyakubugai-hin or a quasi drug, is that you need to have a certain percentage of a certain active ingredient, because that's what's been proven to show X amount of effects. So if you don't have the active ingredient that is within that percentage that is, you know, outlined by the government, then you can't say that your product, you can't apply to have your product be a quasi drug. What I've heard a lot of JBeauty creators say is that it's like tampo sareteru. It's kind of like having a guarantee that this product is going to have the effects that it says, because that's what's based on the data. The government said, hey, this is okay, you can say this, basically. So they're not making exorbitant claims. The thing is, with the quasi drug, I looked it up, and again, as I mentioned, there's a range, and Japanese brands, generally speaking, do not disclose the exact percentage that they put in a product. So I looked it up, and for niacinamide, I believe that the estimated percentage is in toners between 0.1 to 1%, and creams, emulsions, and hand creams, it's 0.1 to 3.5%. I believe that 3.5% is the upper limit. So again, we're not exactly sure how much niacinamide is in this product, but it should be around there. I've heard like 2% is kind of like a sweet spot, but yeah, that I could be totally out there. Anyway, let's move on to the product. So first up, we have the toner, and they only have one flavor. The emulsion, they also only have one flavor. And I also thought that it was very interesting. For some reason, this series, they don't have, you remember that little chart where it showed the skin absorbency versus the moisturization factor? They don't have it for this series. I don't know why, but that's just fun fact. Another not fun fact, but from this line, for the next two lines, the brightening series, they do focus on hyperpigmentation. And I guess one of the ways that they do that is because this series and the next series I'm going to talk about both have sunscreens. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit pricey. It's 3,290 yen, and it's SPF 35 PA3+. And then they have the Wrinkle Bright Cream. And then we have another cream, which is called the Night Mask. And then we have a serum and one all-in-one product. And again, here's the difference between the cream and the night mask. So just looking at the pictures, the night mask looks like it's going to be more kotteri, or more rich, probably more occlusive. So again, of the two, you know, if you want like a lighter texture, go for the cream. If you want a more heavier, like rich experience, I would say for the night mask. Next up, moving on to the brightening series. So again, this series, similar to the other one, is focused more on hyperpigmentation, but whereas the other one, it had niacinamide, so you could claim anti-aging as well as hyperpigmentation, this one only has a vitamin C derivative, therefore they can only claim that it can help with skin brightening or hyperpigmentation, evening out the skin tone, preventing freckles and spots, things like that. We got ceramide MP, the 5 amino acids, as well as a vitamin C derivative and 5 plant extracts. And again, this being a quasi-drug, the active ingredient in this product is ascorbylglucoside, which helps with skin brightening, hyperpigmentation. So for this series, similar to the other one, we have one toner. And then for this one, which the other one didn't have, we have a serum. And the serum says that it's very highly moisturizing. And the serum, it says that the moisturization is quite high and the skin absorbency is not so much. Again, it just depends on the experience it is that you want. And then we come to the sunscreen for this one, which I think that the other one that I mentioned was the SPF was 35. While this for the brightening series, the SPF is 41 and then PA 3 pluses. So this one has a slightly higher SPF. And I just remembered right now, but I had never seen that sunscreen from the other line because I've never heard anybody talk about it. So when I saw it there, I was like, oh, what the heck? I've never heard any other JBeauty creator talking about it. So when I looked at the reviews, I think it had like a 2.6 out of 5. And so I'm like, maybe that's why I haven't heard of it. And main complaint for people talking about this sunscreen was that it's like, it has a very beta feeling or sticky, tacky feeling. So I think you beta stay away from this. So going back to this other sunscreen, they have again different sizes that you can choose. I believe the 50 milliliters is basically just like a little trial bottle. And I definitely have heard of other JBeauty creators talk about this particular product. And so this is a product that I really want to try, the test bottle and let you guys know hopefully sometime this summer. Next up, we have the gel mask. And as you can see, the texture here, it does look like a more light, not watery necessarily, but it definitely doesn't look as, it just looks lighter and it looks less occlusive than some of the other creams. So when I mentioned earlier, I was like, oh, if you have oilier skin, maybe there's another product that I think maybe you might be better off with. And I think this one would be a really interesting try. If any of you have ever tried it, let me know in the comment section. So the brightening series is the only series that I've seen that has a mask, and they also have a clay pack. Both of the products, they recommend using it 2 to 3 times a week. And right now, for some reason, they're having a sale, so that's why it says 990 yen. I don't think this will be the price forever. But yeah, maybe if you buy it like tomorrow, it'll still be that cheap if you're in Japan. The clay pack is a wash-off pack, and it definitely goes with the skin brightening theme because it says kaorin, which it helps to remove the dead skin cells on your face. Again, getting rid of dullness, helping to increase brightness. Okay, next we have the Acne Care series. Just like with the other lines, it's free of all of these things. And this one, we got ceramide MP, 5 amino acids, dipotassium glycerinate, and we have 10 plant extracts for this one. And again, the Yakuyo Clear series or the Medicated Clear series, these are all quasi-drug products, which means that they have active ingredient, that being dipotassium glycerinate, and it's an anti-inflammatory ingredient, which water pimples, inflammation, chronic inflammation. So, to help quell the pimples that you currently have, as well as to try and prevent inflammation from creating other pimples in the future. So for this series, we have an exfoliating toner, one flavor toner. We only got one variation, and then a variation of emulsion. If you remember earlier, I had mentioned there was the fermented booster toner, and then they have this toner here. Well, the difference between these two, aside from the fact that the blue one or the Acne Care series has the dipotassium glycerinate to help with inflammation, is that the booster introducer one has niusan or lactic acid, which is going to be the main exfoliant ingredient. And then for the Acne Care series one, it does not have any particular acids. It has ringo ekisu or apple extract, and generally speaking, fruit extracts, they help to do a lot of gentle peeling. They are listed as moisturizing ingredients, but it's not going to be as much. So of the peeling effect, I think would potentially be more with the fermented booster serum. But again, with the pimplets, you're not trying to do the most. We're trying to be gentle. This is the very Japanese, like, let's kind of take a slow approach. And then when I tell you that I went on this whole quest, because so after the last pink thing that says kisu, and then it says oreo oil phytosphingosine, and I was like, what is that? So I looked it up, and then it kept saying and then I found this one website, Libru.com, where it breaks down ingredients, and then it was like En Oreo Oiru Vitosfingoshin. And I was like, okay, that's the guy, but why doesn't it say N? And also, it says that, so the N, essentially that product is Ceramide 3, which Ceramide 3 is actually not used anymore. Right now, the name that is used is Ceramide NP. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Why is it like this? So that name, the N Oreo Oiru Vitosfingoshin, that name is used for when you use a Iyakubugahin or a quasi-drug. For some reason, the names when they are listed as a quasi-drug product versus when they are regular keshohin or regular cosmetic product, the name of the ingredient sometimes it is different. And I was like, wait, what's going on? And then I promise you, I spent like 20 minutes on this, and after the fact I realized, I was like, oh, that's right, the acne care product, it is an Iyakubugahin. So my bad, 20 minutes of my life, I'm never gonna get back, that's fine, but the more you know. So next they have the all-in-one gel. So again, it would just be wash your face, slap this on, go on with your life. And then they also have a spot treatment, which the active ingredient for this is dipotassium glycerinate, as with the other products in this series. And they have the serum, which they have 2 active ingredients. They have a vitamin C derivative as well as dipotassium glycerinate. So it's supposed to help with hyperpigmentation that comes along with the pimples. So basically that's it. We cover all of the Muji products that there is to exist as far as I know. Hey y'all, so I was like in the middle of editing the video, and then I forget what happened. I was looking through the Muji site, and then I realized that there were products that I did not talk about, and I was about to be like, oh, just leave it for another time, and then leave it like the Milano CC part 2 that I haven't done yet. But then I realized that one of the most beloved Muji products that I've heard of is the cleansing oil. So I was like, maybe I should talk about it. So that's sorry, we're gonna go over that. Long intro to say, let's get to that now. So first up, so these are the products that I found, and I covered, I would say 99% of the products. There was like maybe 1 or 2 stragglers that I was like, I think it's okay if we don't go over these. So first up is the serum. So the Binkan Hada, or the sensitive skin care line, has a serum, and the serum was not featured in the Tokushu or special collection that I went through essentially. This one has an active ingredient, and the active ingredient is sterile, it's up here. It's whatever it is that you say, whatever it is that's up here, and that ingredient is anti-inflammatory. And of course, just like with all the other sensitive skin care line products, it has the ceramide MP, 5 amino acids, as well as 3 plant extracts. And next we move to the Muji sensitive skin cleansing oil, and I didn't realize that they had a sensitive skin cleansing oil as well as their regular mild cleansing oil. But the sensitive skin cleansing oil, just like pretty much all the Muji products, I got the ceramide MP, and then we have the 5 amino acids, and then we also have 3 plant extracts, just like the other products in the sensitive skincare line. And then this one, the base oil, is rice bran oil. I mean, they don't use mineral oils to begin with, but that oil, according to Inky, it has nourishing and moisturizing fatty acids, and it also has antioxidants. So this, I would say, would be like a higher quality or better oil base than other oils. And then on the site, it says that it has a thick oil with some body. And next, I think this was a little bit of a controversial one, and the reason why I was like, maybe I should go over some of the renewal items. So they did renew the Muji Mild Cleansing Oil formula, and again, just in keeping in line with all the other products, it has the ceramide MP and the 5 amino acids that are in all current skincare, all of the renewed skincare products. In addition to that, just like the sensitive skincare series, it has 3 plant extracts, and another moisturizing ingredient it has is hyaluronic acid. And then it also has dipotassium glycerinate, which is an anti-inflammatory ingredient listed on the ingredient list, but it doesn't promote it as either anti-inflammatory because it's not an active ingredient, and it's not even promoted on the front page of the product, so it's just there. And as you can see, this is the old product versus the new product, and unfortunately, the world has not been kind, or is it that Muji has not been kind to us in renewing the formula? I think that they kind of bit themselves in the butt a little bit, because it seems that the Muji Mild Cleansing Oil was really popular. And so as you can see here, the old formula has 440 reviews, and it has a 4.4 out of 5. So that's a pretty high score, but the new one has 27 reviews, and it only has a 3 out of 5. In comparison, by the way, the sensitive skin cleansing oil has 17 reviews, but it has a 4.3. Some of the biggest complaints with regards to the new formulation on the Muji site was that it stings the eyes, that the smell that it has, someone said that it said like rancid nuts, which is a little nuts. And someone said that their cat didn't like the smell, because pets tend to have like very sensitive olfactory senses. Muji actually says that they don't use artificial fragrances. So while it doesn't have artificial fragrances, it does have things like lavender oil, bergamot fruit oil, so it's going to have some kind of fragrance. And someone's cat did not like that fragrance. Next, we move on to the renewed MUJI Mild Face Wash, and the moisturizing ingredients in this are polyquaternium 51, which it has a registered name under Lipidur. We're going to go over that in the next slide. And then we also have, again, your basic ceramide MP. We got hyaluronic acid, and again, 3 plant extracts that are featured in the sensitive skincare series, but it's not promoted in this one. And dipotassium glycerinate is also in this one, but again, it's not promoted, or, you know, I don't know why they're just sneaking in ingredients and not telling you about it. But yeah, so going back to the polyquaternium 51, so it is an ingredient manufactured by the Nichiu company, and it is a registered trademark that they have. Essentially, what it's supposed to do is that it's supposed to help moisturize your skin, but also prevent and retain the moisture into your skin. And the chart here is, if you see the HA, it shows the light blue bar is when essentially the test that they did is that they put hyaluronic acid on a section of skin, and then they measured the moisturization rate of that, which with whatever kind of special machine it is that they use to measure that, and then they wash it off, and then an hour later they measured how well it retained the moisturization. And as you can see, the hyaluronic acid, it went down after an hour. But when they put this special ingredient, and so then when they measured the moisturization of that ingredient, it was already higher than the hyaluronic acid, and after an hour the value only went up to show that it retains moisture. So this is a chart that I reproduced using the chart on their site because they have a little R mark next to their name. I'm very precarious, is that the word, to use their materials, because I ain't got no money to have anyone coming after me. But anyway, all of that to say that at the end of the day, the tests and the results that we are being given, we don't know exactly how it is that they did it. It's basically just being used for advertisement, but I think it's interesting. On their website, it does say that they do have that particular ingredient is used in things like artificial joints as well as artificial hearts. It's also used in megusuri or eye drops and contact lenses. So it sounds like at the very least they present it like it's a very trustworthy and moisturizing ingredient. Next, we have the MUJI Mild Face Scrub. And this one, just like the previous wash-off product, it has the poly something 51, hyaluronic acid, ceramide MP, the 3 plant extracts, as well as dipotassium glycerinate. Next, we move on to the MUJI Mild Cleansing Gel, which, again, ceramide MP, hyaluronic acid. This one has 5 amino acids, as opposed to the other washes up until now have not had amino acids in the formulation. But again, we go back to 3 plant extracts, dipotassium glycerinate. And then this product I thought was really interesting because when it came out, it was very, very it was like, oh my gosh, MUJI is doing some amazing things, because I think this was before the serum series that I presented earlier. MUJI didn't have a lot of active ingredients. So when this came out, it was like, oh, boom, bam, blam. Oh my gosh, what are you doing, MUJI kind of situation. And it has 10% of this vitamin C derivative, along with the same moisturizing ingredient featured in the other products, along with hyaluronic acid and aloe vera extract. And if you see the text on this bottle, this is part of the old series, and it doesn't seem like this product is going to be getting a renewal. I don't know, I could be wrong, but it's currently on sale, and I haven't heard news or a blip that this is going to get renewed. If it does, it would be very interesting. But yeah, another moisturizing ingredient that it has is aloe vera extract, but it does have citrus fruit oils and quite a lot of them. This product was quite highly reviewed versus the next product, which is the MUJI Vitamin C Sheet Mask. And just like the other product, it has 10% of a vitamin C derivative, so that's supposed to help with skin brightening. And it has that same moisturizing ingredient as earlier, hyaluronic acid, aloe vera extract. This one also has citrus fruit oils, but unlike the previous product, which actually had pretty good reviews, this one only has a 3.3 out of 5, and it has a total of 207 reviews on the MUJI site at the time. The biggest complaints, or the recurring complaints that I would see the most with regards to this mask, was the small mask size. When people took it off, they said that it was beta or sticky, and that it wasn't moisturizing enough. So again, I don't think that either of these two products are going to be renewed. If they do renew it, I think that they might renew the one that has better reviews versus the mask one, but I hope it's not a repeat of the mild cleansing oil where they renewed it, but it was actually a worse user experience than the previous one. But I don't know, only time will tell, only Jesus knows. But yeah, so this is actually it for today's video. I filmed the outro, so we're gonna go back to that. Okay, bye. Actually, the chaos continues because as soon as I finished taking down my whole video setup, then I was like, wait a minute, I forgot a whole other slide. And essentially it's like these last products here by MUJI. First 5 on everything except the one with the blue text is a mist, a sunscreen mist. Everything else is some kind of cleansing product. The first product is the mild milk cleansing gel. And then we have the washing foam for people with sensitive skin. We have the milk sensitive skin. We have the sensitive skin face soap. Then we have an actual soap. And last is the cream cleanser, which is almost like maybe a cold cream. So like very thick, a very, you know, very thick layer that you go on. And essentially you're using a lot of, it's very mild with its cleansing power, but the idea is the rubbing action kind of does a little bit more of the heavy duty with regards to that. You can use that to do massages and stuff. But yeah, basically all of these products, it seems like they also might not get a review. They look a little bit forgotten. The only two products that had under a 4-star review were the cream cleansing as well as the spray. Everything else had above a 4. So I actually would be really interested in trying the mild cleansing milk. And then that's a cleanser, so that would be the first step in a cleansing routine. And then the other two, the foam as well as the milk cleanser, as the milk wash, face wash, would be the second step in a cleansing routine. And just because I have dry skin, so I think that it would be very gentle and it wouldn't take too many of my natural oils. Soaps like that bar soap generally tend to be a little bit more harsh, but it did have good reviews. They all had good reviews. I would definitely be most interested in trying the milks, but those don't look like they look like they're abandoned, is what I'm trying to say. So if you like them, just know you were the only one. Muji does not care. Okay, bye. But I mean, at the ones here, they also have hair care products. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe someday in the future, or maybe in a parallel universe, but lower over here, we ain't gonna do that. So anyway, basically that's it for the Muji products. And as far as the products that I'm most interested in, like I had mentioned earlier, it was the cream toner. Genuinely, truly, I'm very interested in trying that product. Again, do you need a 12 skincare, a 5, a 7, a 10-step skincare routine? You don't. But like the way I see it is a hobby. For example, let's say that you like running. What do you need to do running? Basically your body and the outside. Or you could run in your room and be a terrible neighbor. You could do that, nobody's stopping you. But yeah, basically that's all that you need. But if you want to take it to the next level, then maybe you'll go to a shoe shop and you're like, man, I really want to get these nice shoes, or I really want to get these nice running clothes. That's how I see skincare. There's the bare minimum that you can do: wash your face, put an all-in-one gel. And then if you want to start adding more things on top, obviously it's going to take more time, it's going to take more money, but it's just a hobby. It's what you enjoy doing. Some products, they might have better effects than others. It's up to you. So you will find that out as you use the product. But yeah, that's basically the way that I see it. It's a little bit of an expensive hobby, but I really enjoy it. So going back to the other products that I would want to try from this series would be that cream toner. I really, really want to try that. I really want to try the fermented booster serum, because I don't have any booster serums in my skincare routine right now. I have heard a lot of Japanese YouTubers talk about this product. It definitely, like in Japanese you say bazutta. Bazuru is like, because like your phone, when you get a notification, it buzzes, right? So then like for bazuru is like the idea of your phone constantly being like bzz, bzz, bzz. So yeah, so that serum I'm really excited to try. I just think it'll be very moisturizing, but I really want to try it. And then the gel mask that I mentioned earlier, and I have very dry skin, and actually the Shiseido blue product with the 4-MSK that I was like, I didn't really like it because like I was like, it was okay, but I wanted it to be more rich. So I think it's really funny because I'm like, I really want to try it. It's just the texture looks so nice. It looks so refreshing. I'll probably try it and then I'll be like, I didn't like it because it was not rich enough. But just letting you know, that's how I feel. But yeah, so that's it for basically the Muji deep dive. What did you guys think? Did you have any products that you were really interested in trying? Do you have any additional questions and or answers maybe to the questions that I posed? Oh, also, before I forget, if there's any other brands that you would want me to do a deep dive of, please let me know and I'll be working on that. So I'll definitely try and get them out more often. And yeah, as always, hope you have a good day. God bless me,